want to have a quick discussion and I want to talk about the dark side of boxing. This is really a dark subject. It does not get talked about a lot. And I know when you're young, all you want to do is just get in there and fight. You got so much energy. You're just so just hungry and passionate to maybe want to be a world champion. You just want it so bad. But what you're not looking at the dark side of it. You're not looking at your finances and you're not looking at life after boxing. So I want to just touch on both those subjects real quick. First let's talk about most boxers end up broke. A lot of fighters, they have short careers, they have long careers, but at the end of the day, they end up broke. And the reason why a lot of fighters end up broke is because of the fact that you don't ask questions and you don't do your own research. You don't ask questions. All you do is sign a contract, you go fight, and then after that, get your little check, then you on to the next. You're not looking at the whole fold of it. You're not looking at how much you signed for and how much of your purse goes where. And I'm going to say it like this. All right, first of all, when you first turn professional, this is for 90% of boxers. This is just a regular fighter who didn't have a long career, amateur career, who don't really got no Olympic, background. Just a fighter come off the street, get himself licensed, and go fight. Okay? First and foremost, when you first start boxing, you're going to start off with 4-round fights. 4-round fights, the first 4-round fight, well, I'm not going to say the first. I'm just going to say when you sign up to fight 4-round fights, you're going to get in between $500 to $1,000 for that 4-round fight. Then for 6-round fights, you're going to get anywhere between 1,500, well, 1,200 really, between 1,200 and like $1,800. Okay, when you go up to 8 rounds, you're normally going to get anywhere between, I say, 2,500 to about 3,500 for an 8-round fight, depending on who you're fighting. Okay. Now, when you start to get up there around the 10-round fights, and this is not fighting for any kind of title or anything, this is fighting on regular club shows, you may make anywhere between $5,000 to about $7,500, depending on where you're fighting at. Like I say, if you're fighting more down in the southern region, you might make less. But if you're fighting on the West Coast or fighting here on the East Coast, you may make more, depending on who you're fighting. Okay, but those are just the numbers. Like what you're going to make when you first start off boxing. And like I say, the more you win, the more money you can make. But then you got to look at the other side of it, okay? Because everybody has to get paid. You have a trainer, you have a manager, you have a promoter. And then nowadays, now you got a guy who hold your water bottle. You got another guy over here to tie your left shoe, another guy to tie your right shoe. Strength and conditioning coach, a dietitian. Like there's so many other people nowadays, but long story short, whoever you have on your team, everyone needs to get paid and they deserve to get paid. If you got them on your team, take care of your teammates, okay? Now, when you first start off in boxing, you got to understand, 10% of your purse is going to go towards your trainer. And it depends how you got things worked out. Normally, 33 and a third is going to go to your manager. Now, some guys get it worked out where your manager out there 33 and a third, your manager take care of the trainer, the manager take care of everybody else, and you take the rest, and you walk over the rest of your money. But a lot of fighters, they come in the game so ignorant where they don't know the sport, so they end up paying that trainer the 10, then they pay the manager 33 and a third, then pay maybe another 10-15% to the promoter, and then you're left with most of the time less than 50% of your purse. Matter of fact, I'm going to find this video this link I just read yesterday about the boxer Ishe Smith, who's a solid professional. He was actually on that show, The Contender, when it first came out. But he spoke about that, how he'll fight for, a $10,000 purse, but then he'll leave off for less than $2,000. I'll link that video. I'll link that article in the description. But you need to ask questions and you need to find out who's who. Okay? Because at the end of the day, is your health on the line. In boxing, we don't have insurance. Boxing, we don't have a union to represent us. So after we're done, we can be taken care of. We don't have that in boxing. So when young fighters first get into the game, they're so zealous. I want to say they're overzealous. They just want to fight. They want to fight, 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 fight. Not thinking about the end goal. Not thinking about the end goal as far as the finances go. Boxing is more than just winning championship belts, because what fighters don't know, young guys too, is that you got to pay about a 3% sanctioning fee for all the world titles. So say if you're the WBC champ, you're the IBF champ, you're the WBO champ, you know what I mean? Those are just 3 titles. But you gotta pay 3, 6, 9. Now you gotta pay each those sanction fees 3%. So that'll be a total of 9. Then let you be another world champion from another organization, that'll be 12. So you'll take 12% of your purse and have to pay that to the sanctions, whoever you got your title from. Now that's 12% right there, and you still gotta take care of your team. So when fighters look at, oh man, I can make so much money, but you gotta understand, and that's not including the state tax either. So a lot of fighters, they look at like, oh, I'm gonna make a lot of money, but the thing is, you're not really doing the math of the total picture. Okay. And then one thing you gotta understand too, as far as getting paid in boxing. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm trying to make the video short. I don't want to make it too long, but I just wanted to touch on it. So it's just so many thoughts racing through my head, and I'm freestyling my videos. I don't got nothing written down. I didn't take no notes. It's just going off the head. So excuse me if I stutter here or if I might forget something. Just work with me and just understand the total picture of what I'm painting for you guys. Okay. Now, just like your job, you might work a regular job. Well, your job has a 401k plan. Some jobs got deferred comps. Those are investment firms where they take your money and they invest it for you. Or you can do personal investments through a Roth IRA. Right? Now, I would suggest every young fighter, I don't care if you're fighting for $600 a fight, take no less than 15% of your purse and put it in some kind of investment. Learn about different properties, learn about the market, different streaming services, gas stations. Like, just learn about different investments. I'm not here to teach you about investment because I got my own personal goals that, I'm into right now, and I don't want to, throw all my so-called beliefs on you. I'm just speaking about the overall picture of it, man. A lot of fighters end up broke because they don't do the research, And then, like I say, another thing is too, a lot of fighters, they start off so young where they just forget their education. They forget about school. They forget about, playing sports, other sports in school. They're just so focused on boxing, where it consume them. But then you're not realizing the fact that, God forbid, it takes one punch for all it to be wiped out. And then you got to ask yourself, what do I got to fall back on? What are you going to fall back on? Because one day, either, God forbid, through an injury or just old age or just your body just don't want to act right, you're going to have to stop boxing. So you got to ask yourself, what do I have to fall back on? So I will always suggest for you guys, you got to learn how to, yes, make boxing. If you want to box, make boxing. There's no escape from training. You got to train, you got to run, you got to be straight tunnel vision. But at the same time, you have to have some kind of education or some kind of trade, something that you can fall back on. So if boxing don't work out, because a stat, what a lot of people don't know, you go to boxrec.com, you got thousands, literally thousands of boxers, professional fighters all over the world. But if you look at the numbers, only between 10 to 15% of boxers actually make it. And that that 10 to 15%, it falls on, I believe it was 15% of boxers are fighting for over 6 figures. And then under that 10% was fighters fighting over, I believe it was over 75. But then you got your very few that really make it. Guys like the Floyd Mayweathers, you know what I'm saying? Even guys like Oscar De La Hoya, those guys in my generation. Today you got Gervonta Davis, Tyson Fury. Those guys are really fighting for AJ, Anthony Joshua. Those guys are really fighting for big bucks. You understand? And not many boxers are going to make it to that level no matter how good you are, because it takes more then be able to learn how to know how to fight. You got a lot of guys that know how to fight, but they don't know how to promote themselves, or they don't have the promoters to really push them, you know? So you got to really understand, man, a lot of fighters, they make a lot of error because of the fact that they don't know their finances. And you don't put in your mind that, yo, one day I'm not going to be a boxer no more. So what do you got to fall back on? You know? Don't give up on your education. Don't give up on your trade. Put your all into boxing. Hear me out. Put your all into boxing, but don't put your all into boxing. Understand that? Yes, if you're going to do it, go full blast, no distractions, right? But at the same time, you still got to be able to still live a regular productive life because this is the other subject I want to touch on too, because you're boxing, you're putting your all so much into boxing where when you're done boxing, a lot of fighters end up lonely. So you end up broke and you end up lonely, or either or both, who knows? But a lot of fighters end up lonely because they started so young, right? At your young age, where you didn't develop no kind of friendships. You really wasn't going to family functions. You didn't have a girlfriend, or if you're a girl listening, you ain't have I don't want to say boyfriend, because my personal beliefs, you know what I mean? If you're so young, man, listen, leave that boyfriend, girlfriend stuff alone, focus on, doing you. But I just say in general, just having companionships, you know? You're so consumed with boxing where you don't develop any kind of relationship with anybody. And then, you happen to make it in boxing. Now you got people coming out the woodworks. And now you got people liking you for what you do, but not for who you are. See, you are a boxer, right? You're a boxer. That's what you do, but that's not who you are, though. So you got to understand, you have to develop friendship. You have to develop relationships outside of boxing, because a lot of fighters, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. That's just the stigmatism that we have. They say a lot of boxers are just dumb because they think all we know how to do is just throw punches and receive punches. Not knowing that we're more than just being a boxer. Boxing is what I do. Like, you can be an accountant, and the accountant's what you do. That's not who you are. And a lot of people don't know who they are because they're so consumed with their career choice, with their educational background. So all of a sudden they thinking that's who they are. No, that's just what you do. So you have to find out who you are, and boxing is going to consume a lot of your life. Boxing is going to consume, and it should consume a lot of your, attention. But at the same time, you don't want to make that your all be all. You don't. Okay, take it from me. You don't. I know a lot of fighters that ended up retiring with good records. They was top contenders. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this, right? I had a good homie of mine. It's just the facts, man. I had a real good homie of mine. He was a real good fighter. He retired as a contender. He just decided to quit boxing. But he just hit me up a couple of months ago asking, can he borrow $100? And he was a good fighter. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? And then I know guys like I said, like Buster Douglas. I don't know James Buster Douglas, but I remember when he fought Mike Tyson, right? He got all that money from Mike Tyson. He actually invested in property somewhere out Ohio. Like it was like so many apartments on a condominium where he actually made it off just no more boxing money, but he started making a living off of his properties. You understand? So that's why you got to be real smart and real conscious on, what you're doing with your money in boxing. Know where it's going. You're not fighting just to fight. Because understand, man, hey, one punch, man, it can either kill you, all right? God forbid, man, it can kill you. It can severely injure you, right? Or one punch can make you. It can make you a quick $1 million. It can make you a quick $50 million. But you gotta be on that level though. But through all that, you can make all that money. Understand that you're going to get taxed on that. You're going to have to pay sanctioning fees. You're going to have to pay your team. Okay? So just keep in your mind, man, you're more than just a boxer. Be smart with your money. Be smart with the choices that you make. Because this game of boxing is not meant for the human body. It's not meant for the brain to take all these punches. It's not meant for that, man. We wasn't created for that. And we choose to do it. And like I say, that's a whole nother subject as far as the spiritual realm of things, you know. I do know that boxing saved my life. Personally, I know boxing saved my life. Even to the day, it saved my life. And it helped me, it's helping me to save others. Even people that don't want to compete. You know, it's keeping them off the street. It's giving them discipline. It's teaching them how to be more self-confident. And it's teaching them the battles of life. Knowing I don't care how you've been taught at home, you're still gonna have to go out there on your own and make something of yourself. Just like in boxing, you got your trainer, you got your coaches, you got everybody here with you, teaching you, but you're gonna have to be the one in that ring fighting. You got your parents at home, you got your brothers, your sisters, help teaching you, but you're gonna have to be the one to walk out that house and put all that teaching to use. You know? So you wanna be smart, man. You know, a lot of boxers, like I say, end up financially hurting. They end up lonely by themselves because they didn't build no relationships. You know, so just be smart in this game of boxing. If this is what you want to do, put your all into it. But question everybody. Do your research. Do your own homework. Seriously, you're not a punching bag. You're not a piece of property. You're a young man. You're a young woman that really want to make something of yourself. You're using the gifts that you're blessed with to really, make something of yourself. Okay? So I just wanted to touch base on that, man. You know, a lot of fighters end up broke and lonely, man. So y'all do the work. And at the end of the day, my personal beliefs is seeking ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And all things will be added to us. Peace.
Yeah. Roll. Step. Yeah. Roll. Yeah. Roll. Get back. Get around. Come on, nigga. We ready? Punch out. Come on. Nigga, punch. Straight like that. Punch straight, not like this. Bing, straight punches. Okay, come on. In, out. Boom, out. Boom. Okay? Go. Get left hand out. Come on. 10 push-ups. Let's get it.